What did we learn in our previous two videos? We learned about the meaning of error, what type of errors one can commit, how those errors can be committed, at what stages the error can commit, and we also studied how those errors are going to impact our trial balance. What are those errors impacting the trial balance? What are those errors not impacting the trial balance? These are the things we learned in our previous two videos. Now, we are going to learn how to locate these errors. You have done some mistakes, you have done some errors. Fine. Because of those errors, your trial balance might tally, it may not tally. Because that is what some errors might impact trial balance, some errors may not impact the trial balance, right? Fine. But error has happened. How do I locate it? That is what we are going to learn today. How to locate the error, how to identify the error. Are there any ways and means for us to locate the error? Let us start learning. Hi, my name is Krishna Akamalla. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let us get into the presentation to understand what are those errors and how do we locate those errors and how do we rectify them. But in this video, I'm going to talk about how to locate those errors. Probably a few examples I can explain. In next video, we can learn how to rectify them as well. Right? Let us get into the subject now. Okay, guys. What is that I said? We are going to learn how to locate the errors. That is the one we are going to discuss now. I'll read out point by point here and explain how to locate the errors, right? Steps to locate errors. Even if there is only a very small difference in the trial balance, even if it is a very small difference, the errors leading to must be located and rectified, irrespective of the difference. The difference can be 1 rupee or the difference can be 1 crore, whatever be the amount. You should not think about the amount. As and when you see there is a difference, you need to start locating where is that error happened and how do I identify that error and how do I rectify that error. That is our responsibility. That is what it says. A small difference may be the result of a number of errors. Beautiful. Don't think that hey, it's just 1 rupee. No, the difference is only 1 rupee. Why are we worried about it? Leave it, ignore it. Start preparing profit and loss account and balance sheet, because trial balance is the basis for us to prepare the profit and loss account and balance sheet, right? So 1 rupee difference only, in trial balance. Let us leave it and start preparing. Should never do that. Even if the difference is very small, the difference may be because of so many transactions. Maybe 10 transactions clubbed together would have, led to 1 rupee difference. It doesn't mean that the difference is because of only one transaction which has only 1 rupee difference. It is a combination of so many errors. It might be related to combination of so many errors, right? Suppose if there are 10 errors or 15 errors, but the result would have been 1 rupee. But how many errors are there? 10 errors or 15 errors, right? So your motto should be, how do I rectify the errors? How do I identify the errors? It's not that you are going to rectify the errors based on the amount. No. Amount can be anything, but Your responsibility is to identify or locate those errors and rectify them. The following steps will be useful in locating the errors. See guys, one important point, the following steps will be useful. Will be useful is very important point. Doesn't mean that these are the only steps you are going to follow. Whatever steps given here, some 8 steps, it doesn't mean that you follow only these 8 steps to locate the errors. These are the important steps one can follow to locate the errors, not for rectification. One can locate the errors by following these 8 steps. It doesn't mean that these are the only 8 steps available. You can still think of some more ideas, some more points where you can figure out the error, right? So let us understand first these 8, and you can think of on your own to identify some more points. Let us do the first. What is that first point? The 2 columns of the trial balance should be totaled again. As soon as you see the difference in trial balance, let us say this is the trial balance. This is debit, this is credit. This is coming 10,000, this is coming 12,000. Now the difference is 2,000. 2,000 is in higher side of credit. Credit side it is in showing higher side, higher value. So as soon as you see the difference, the first and foremost thing what you need to do is, let us first total once again the debit and credit. Simplest way to identify. It doesn't mean that this is the only way. He is giving one simple step for us to find out. Let us first total whether this 10,000 is correct. By any chance we ignored one amount of 2,000 while totaling, that would have resulted this difference, right? There is a possibility. So the first and foremost thing what you need to do is, you need to first total again debit and credit to see whether totals are right or wrong. Suppose is totally is wrong, you identified this as 12,000, then your problem is resolved here itself. This is a total mistake, so trial balance is tallying, you can ignore that, and you can rectify the total and close that point. So first and foremost thing what you are supposed to do is, you first need to total the debit and credit columns to see whether there is any mistake in totaling. If there is a mistake, then let us rectify that mistake first. If there is no mistake, let us follow the other steps. This is one among the 8 steps where you need to do the totaling before we identify the mistake. Clear? Right. If in place of number of accounts, only one account has been written in the trial balance, the list of such accounts should be checked and totaled again. Guys, this is very important. Whoever is working in multinational companies, they will get to know about this point very clearly. They will understand what exactly I'm talking as well. But I'll try my level best to make students to understand what exactly the point is. See, for example, if I take customers, right? One company, one organization can have 10,000 customers, 20,000 customers, 50,000, 1 lakh. It depends on size of the organization. So each and every customer you have to maintain an account. For every customer you need to maintain an account in Ledger. If you have 10,000 customers, 10,000 accounts. If you have 50,000 customers, you should have 50,000 customer accounts, right? Now, every customer, some customers might have balance can be carry forwarded. Some customers might, have zero balance. Some customers do not have any transactions as well. There could be several scenarios in this, but there are so many customer accounts wherein you could see some balances in those customer accounts. That means those are the amounts to be paid by the customers to the business organization. That is the meaning of it. Now I'm asking you one question. All these customer accounts should come to your trial balance as well. All these customers should be part of your trial balance as well. If you start bringing 10,000, 12,000, 50,000, 1 lakh customer accounts into the trial balance, your trial balance will run into thousands and lakhs of pages. If you bring all these customers into trial balance, your trial balance will run into lakhs and lakhs of pages. Hey, come on, Krishna. If I don't bring these customers into trial balance, how my trial balance will tally? You are the one said I'm following double entry system of bookkeeping. For every debit, there should be a corresponding credit. For every credit, there should be a corresponding debit. So if customer accounts is a debit balance, basically, if this debit is not coming into trial balance, how trial balance will tally? Yes, you are absolutely right. If customer accounts are not shown in trial balance, your balance will not tally. Your trial balance will not tally. Then you are saying I cannot bring this all customer accounts into trial balance. And if you bring, it will run into thousands and lakhs of pages. Then what is the solution? For all these customers, there will be only one account maintained in trial balance. For all these customers, if you have 1 lakh customers, all 1 lakh customers, you maintain only one account in trial balance. That is called customer control account. Customer control account. Only one account we maintain in trial balance or trade receivable account. This customer control account in corporate sector we use, but in for students purpose, what I suggest is we call this as trade receivable account. So only one account will be there. How come this trade receivable account, one account is enough? This one account will have the balances of all these 40,000 or 50,000 or 1 lakh customer account balances in this. That means all these balances flood into this trade receivable accounts and it will show the net balance of all customer accounts. If you have 50,000 customers, all 50,000 customer accounts balances will flow into trade receivable account and you can see the balance here in this account. So if you go to the trial balance, you will not have 50,000 or 1 lakh customer accounts. What will be there? You will have only one account. That is called a trade receivable account. TR. I'm observation because I don't have space to write. So TR is trade receivable account. So that will be having a balance here in debit side. So now, what is that point here? It says is you have 50,000. Let us say you have 50,000 customers account, but all these customer accounts are mapped to this trade receivable account. All these customers are mapped to trade receivable account. That means whatever balances are there of 50,000 customers are there in this as one balance. So in those cases, what you are supposed to do is you need to total all those customers and see whether that balance is correctly flown into the trade receivable account or not. There could be one or two customers would have been missed out. Whether this trade receivable balance, total balance is matching to the total 50,000 customers balance or not. You need to cross check. Similar way for suppliers also, there will be trade payable account, one account. Suppliers can have 50,000 in our books, 1 lakh in your books, but 1 lakh supplier accounts you cannot bring into trial balance because the trial balance run into thousands of pages. That is the reason we bring only one account. That one account is called a trades payable account. So if I go to the trades payable account, the balance amount will be lying in liability side, payables, right? Liability. Credit side of the trial balance it will show. Now what you are supposed to do is you need to you have the total balance here, right? This balance you need to map with all the supplier account balances. Whether that 50,000 or 1 lakh supplier account balances are exactly reflecting in this account or not, you need to check. So trade receivables, trade payables are one single account which will be shown in trial balance, whereas the balance into that account is coming from thousands and lakhs of supplier accounts and customer accounts. So whenever you see these balances, you need to go and check those respective customer accounts and the supplier accounts to understand whether the balances are flown into trade receivables and the trade payables is matching to that extent or not. If one account is missed out, obviously you will have a difference here. That is the reason he's saying if in place of number of accounts, in the sense 50,000 supplier accounts are there or 1 lakh customer accounts are there, in place of all these 50,000 or 1 lakh number of accounts, only one amount has been written in the trial balance. Only one amount. What is that one amount? Trade receivable or trade payable. Trade receivable is for customers, trade payables is for suppliers. So trial balance, list such accounts should be checked and totaled again. All these 50,000 accounts or 1 lakh accounts, you need to total it again and see whether those totals are exactly reflecting in trade receivables and trade payables or not. You need to check to make sure that these balances are tallying or not. That is also opportunity. Opportunity for us to identify the mistake. There is an opportunity. One can commit the mistake there. These are all potential mistakes. We call it as potential possible mistakes. Right? So what you need to do, you need to check all those cases to understand whether the balances are tallying or not. That is what here it says. List of trade receivables is an example from which trade receivable balance is derived. Exactly. Whatever I explained, that is what they mentioned here. Are you clear? This is a very important point, guys. Next, it should be seen that the cash and bank balances have been written in the trial balance. When I prepare the trial balance, I also need, at times we forgot to write cash balance, CB, or bank balance, BB. We'll forget to bring them into the trial balance. There is a possibility. These are all common mistakes people can commit, right? So it's not that every time you find this mistake, there is a possibility, there is a potentiality that you can miss out this balance. Check that. Whether cash balance is there, yeah, it is correct. Bank balance is there, yes, it is correct. So cash balance and bank balance has been taken care or not, you need to check. That is one of the important points where you can locate the possible errors. There are possible errors. You can locate there. So that is the reason why they are saying you need to look into that. Next one. The exact difference in the trial balance should be established. See, if I prepare the trial balance, debit total is 10,000, credit total is 12,000. The exact difference is how much? 2,000, right? You can't say this is the exact difference. I'm telling you, though I'm saying it is an exact difference, you cannot say 2,000 is an exact difference. You know why? There could be a credit missed out for 12,000, one credit, one debit missed out for 10,000, another credit missed out for 4,000, and another debit missed out for 8,000. There could be several number of transactions together got missed out and netting to 2,000. Netting to 2,000. But it is not that this is pertaining to one transaction. This is a combination of so many transactions. So you need to figure out how this exact difference is arrived. Because of one transaction, because of several transactions. Which are those several transactions leading to this 2,000 difference? That is something which we need to figure out. How it is possible. The ledger should be gone through. It is possible that a balance equal to the difference has been omitted from the trial balance. So let us say you have identified this 2,000 as the difference, right? Is there any possibility that exactly to the extent of 2,000 did I miss any transaction? You can go through the ledger, go through each and every page in the ledger and see whether there is any one transaction which is value of 2,000 missed out. If that is identified, then your problem is resolved. If 2,000 is not identified, 4,000 difference is identified. That also need to be considered. What would have happened? That 4,000 difference would have been posted in an incorrect side or wrong side, or 1,000 would have been posted in wrong side, which have resulted in 2,000 difference. I think 4,000 is incorrect example. 1,000 would have been posted, instead of debit we posted in credit side. Then the difference will not be 1,000, difference will be 2,000. So you will see 2,000 difference. But transaction missed out is only 1,000. Why? Instead of posting it in debit side, we posted in credit side. So since it is posted in wrong side, you need to debit that twice. For example, purchases. 1,000 I posted in credit side. Actually, this should have been in debit side. So let us say now I rectified with 1000. This and this got rectified, nullified, balance is 0. But that is not the case, right? I have to have one more 1000 here. Then only I can say this and this got cancelled. I got 1000 debit in purchases. That means what? 1000 wrongly posted in credit side, but the difference is how much? 2000. Why? 1000 you need to post in debit side to cancel this, and actual 1000 should come in debit side. So the total difference you must be seeing in our trial balance is 2000, right? So you need to understand what is that exact difference. To this extent, whether you will be in a position to identify the full value of the transaction. If full value of the transaction is not available, see whether there is any half of the difference is got posted in wrong side. That also you can look into it. If it is posted in wrong side with 50% of the difference, then there is every possibility that if you rectify that, the difference will get nullified. That is the reason you need to see whether the full value is difference, and half value of the difference will you be in a position to locate there. If you are able to locate half value difference or full value difference, your job will be easy. You can easily rectify them. So that is what they are trying to say. The difference should also be held. It is possible that balance equal to half the difference has been written in the wrong column. See, that is what I said. Instead of posting in debit side, I posted in credit side 1000. But this 1000, you are saying that 1000 is a mistake. But the difference will be showing 2000. Because this 1000 should come, then it will get knocked off, another 1000 should come. So it means total how much difference? 2000. So you are seeing 2000 difference. But what was the mistake happened? Mistake happened only 50% of this value. So when you are locating the error, you should see the full value of difference, whether there is any possibility that you can locate. If full value cannot be located, at least see half of the value will you be in a position to locate it. Are you getting my point? First, what you need to do, see the full value of the difference, whether you can get a transaction missed out. That is first option. Second option, if that is not available, see what is the difference, and half of the difference will you be in a position to locate. If half of the difference you are able to locate, then you can understand, oh, this half of the value has been posted in wrong side, because of which the full value difference is coming over there. That is how you need to figure out the error. That is what this point clearly says. I hope you are clear. Next, the ledger account should be balanced again. So another important point of locating errors is, if you think that the balance, the difference is not rectified, you again do the balancing of all ledger accounts. There could be thousands of ledger accounts, right? All thousands of ledger accounts, you need to balance it again. Why I know they are asking us to do the balancing. There could be a possibility that we would have incorrectly done the balancing, right? We would have done incorrectly. So let us identify what is that incorrect balancing we have done, and let us rectify it. Probably that could be the reason why there is a difference. Am I right or wrong? Next, the casting of subsidiary books should be checked again. In case if you are following subsidiary books, casting of the subsidiary book. Casting is nothing but totaling. Totaling of all subsidiary books, you need to go and check whether there is any total mistake happened. Why I need to check totals? That is the same totals will get posted to ledger. If there is an incorrect totaling done in subsidiary book, the same incorrect amount will get posted to ledger. If that get posted to ledger, the same amount will appear in our trial balance as well. So obviously that will have impact on my trial balance, right? So when there is a casting done for subsidiary books, let us check whether the casting has been done correctly or not. Whether the same amount by any chance incorrect totaling has been carried forward to posting. From posting, whether it has been carried forward to trial balance, which is causing the difference. So you need to identify, you need to total subsidiary books and see whether there is any possible mistake in that. Next, if the difference is very big, in case the debit and credit total difference is very big, the balance in various accounts should be compared with the corresponding accounts in the previous period. This is very important. For example, the current month sales are 4 lakhs. The previous month sales are 6 lakhs. I'm just taking an example. How come? Why? See, now there is a difference in trial balance. But I need to see the bigger value. Bigger value is sales value. Current month, how much sales value I have shown? 4 lakhs. Let me check what would have been the sales figure in previous month? 6 lakhs. Oh my God. How come there is 2 lakhs difference when I compare sales with previous year or previous month or previous period? There could be some mistake here. It's not that there is a mistake, huh? This 2 lakhs is not mistake. You need to get a doubt. Oh, current month sales I'm showing only 4 lakhs, or current period sales I'm showing only 4 lakhs. But when I compare the current period sales with the previous period sales, my previous period sales are 6 lakhs. That means there is a huge difference of 2 lakhs. Why this 2 lakhs difference has come? Did I miss any sales in current period? Did I miss any invoices in current period, which is causing this difference in trial balance? There is a possibility, right? I would have missed out some invoices. I would have missed, booking an accrual. There could be any possibility that the difference can be, identified. Not necessarily. Maybe my sales also would have been reduced to that extent. I'm not denying it. But there is a possibility that there could be some mistake happened in this, and you can cross check that. If there is no difference and 4 lakhs is the right figure, please go ahead, continue identifying the difference. But you need to give a chance to go and check with the previous period and understand whether the difference is because of any mistake. That is what the point is. If the figures differ materially, the cases should be seen. It is possible that an error has been committed. When there is a huge difference, there is every possibility that the mistake would have happened. That is what they are trying to say. Next, posting of amounts equal to the difference or half of the difference should be checked. That's what I said previously. Suppose if difference is here 10,000, here 20,000, the difference is total 10,000. Between debit total and credit total, difference is 10,000. While checking, first you need to check whether there is any transaction which is worth 10,000 missed out. If you can't find 10,000, the total value of the difference, you divide it by 2, see, 5,000. By any chance, there is a 5,000 worth of transaction missed out. So that also you need to give an up. Why we need to check half of the amount? I already told you. If that 5,000 is posted in wrong side, that will have double impact. Then the difference will be 10,000. That is the reason. What they are trying to say here is, see the difference. See, the difference is 10,000. If the difference is 10,000, first figure out whether there is any transaction missed out worth 10,000. First check that. If that is not available, then see the 50% of 10,000. 50% of 10,000 is 5,000. Let us see now whether there is any transaction of 5,000 missed out. If that is also not available, then move on to the next point. That's a different story. But you need to give a chance to check first 10,000, then check 5,000 and see whether there is any difference. That is what they are saying. Clear? Next. It is possible that an amount has been omitted to be posted or has been posted on the wrong side. That is what I told. Next, if there is a still difference in the trial balance, a complete checking will be necessary. If there is a still, even after doing all these cases, all these 7 points, still if you identify and if the difference is not able to locate it, then you need to do thorough check. If once you get into CA articles with the chartered accountants, what generally the chartered accountants ask our articled clerk to do is they ask us to do watching. Watching. What do you mean by watching? Watching is nothing but they will ask us to do the first postings. Postings they will ask us to check, and they will ask us to check the watching as well. There will be a book called a journal and there will be a book called a ledger, right? So one person will be given journal book and one person will be given ledger book. Journal person will be reading purchases debit, Then he will go and check purchases. How much? 10,000. He will say, yeah, 10,000 is available. So they will keep ticking, reverse ticking like this. This is called audit tick. So we keep checking the postings between journal book and ledger book. We do the postings and tick marks to see whether every transaction has been properly posted or not. That check has to be done, thorough check. After that, we do the watching as well. We see whatever transactions have been posted, whether we have appropriate vouchers with us or not. These are all the things you are expected to do once you get into the CA articles with the chartered accountants. Why they ask us to do that exercise? Because they wanted to check whether the postings have been done correctly, appropriate vouchers have been available or not, whether the trial balance prepared by the business is right or wrong. Because auditor cannot, sign the financial statements blindly, right? He has to make sure that the trial balance is tallied, transactions are correctly accounted, right? For that, he will ask his article clerks to go and do the postings and watching so that you will get to know whether there are any differences. If there are any differences, they ask us to rectify or they call business and ask them to rectify this, and they will prepare the revised trial balance and then start preparing the profit and loss account and balance sheet. That is how the process is going to be. That is the reason here it is saying if there is still a difference in the trial balance, a complete checking will be necessary. You need to do the complete checking. The posting of all the entries, including the opening entry, should be checked. That is what I told you now. Including open entries, closing entries, transactions, everything has to be thoroughly checked. Then you can definitely identify the difference. Then it may be better to begin with the nominal accounts. He's saying, let us start with the nominal accounts. But my suggestion is you better check everything. If you check everything, posting, watching everything, I don't think so any transaction can be missed out because you are following double entry system of bookkeeping. When you are following double entry system of bookkeeping, for every debit there will be a corresponding credit. For every credit there will be a corresponding debit. So if one transaction is not getting posted into the ledger while doing the posting itself, while doing the audit check itself, you will understand the difference and you can easily look at the error. Getting my point? So this is how one has to identify the errors, possible errors. It's not that these are the only points we do, but these are the possible errors where one can, locate. If you start following the steps, whatever we explained now, you can identify the errors and anyway, we are going to learn how to rectify them in coming videos. But right now in this video, you should know, or by this time you should understand that, okay, this is how I need to do the checking to identify or locate the errors. Clear? Right. So that's all for today. I'm closing my video here. I hope you guys are clear about the topic. And if you like the content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Thank you so much.